Good morning, friends. Looks like another lazy day today. The girls are all inside. Well, most of them are inside because it's going to be a really blustery day today, and I think they're feeling it in their bones. They seem to be anyway. They're just kind of hanging out in here, and yesterday was a real busy day for me. I moved Jesus out. He was so funny. I let him out, and he went, well, kind of pushed him out, and she stayed, which is a good thing because he can't be in there with her when her babies hatch, and her babies are due any day. So he went out and got in the pool and dirtied one up, and I tossed the water in it, and he got in the next one and dirtied it up, and I tossed the water out of it and filled it back up, and he went back to the first one again. So he took 3 baths yesterday, and he is absolutely stunning today. If you look at, I don't know if you can see how white he is. He was, oh, how beautiful. Look at you. Yes, I'm talking about you, Jesus. I wish I didn't have to have you in a cage. It would be wonderful. But I also had to catch this one. This is Kazoo's brother. Him and Kazoo are fighting over girls. And with them being the youngest two, that's going to happen until they decide that they're grown adults and find some it's a battle right now. Because when they're young, they have to fight to see who's the dominant one and who gets the women. Well, the women are the ones that are the victims in this thing because they can't handle all that. And they're chasing them around and pulling all their feathers out. And so I just decided it's time to put him by himself in his own little spot. And then sometime today, hopefully, the next time I get a chance, I'm going to catch Kazoo and I'm going to put him in there too and let them just decide who they want to be. And that's going to be their choice and not mine. But I got the rabbits out, as you can tell. And they each have their own little spot. And I left these 2 open because I've got 2 girls that do not like to be out in the, well, anywhere, because they get chased by the roosters. So I put little Crip on the bottom one, and I put, she looks like Jill, but she's not Jill, on the one in the top overnight, and then I let them out in the morning, so I'll keep those 2 open for them. And then I've got girls over here that's just kind of standing around, preening their feathers and doing what they do and getting them a drink occasionally and getting them something to eat. And I gave Hazel some corn. I bought just corn for her and Jesus. She's not really eating the new feed very good, the 20%. I think it must have too much protein for her. So I'm going to have to refigure that. But for now, corn will do, because that's kind of what they eat out in the wild anyway. And Have got these all full, and I've got all of these full. So I've got, let's see, and I still have Magnolia and Poppy together. I've got their window open over here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rabbits right now, and they're eating a ton. So I'm still gonna have to do something with them, but for right now I've got to separate them because they were fighting and biting each other and stuff. So, and here's Kazoo. You can tell Kazoo is not kazooing anymore, and he's kind of leery of me because I tried to catch him last night with the net and it didn't work. I was tired, he was fast, it was late. So he gets to stay where he's at. He'll probably kind of hang out around brother. Those 2 are almost inseparable. So I'll see what they're going to do. Those are both Hazel's last brood that she hatched. So I hope that she does have at least some mate, because I'm not really that sure. She's been off and on and off and on and off and on, and you can see right here by the water bowl that she had one that she tossed out, and there's something was stinking over there, and I pulled the water out and threw it out, and that egg was in there, and it was just a partial egg, so I'm sure that it was probably in there just stinking the whole place up. Sounds like they're listening to something. There's something outside. Because they're all in the house. Every one of them, it looks like. Usually there's a gentry right here at the door. Nope. Renfro's out. And it looks like Mo is out. She just walked out with me. So today is a really blustery day here on the farm. You can kind of see how fast the clouds are going. We're under tornado watches all day long. Thank goodness I have a storm shelter, but it's not going to help my chickens if anything happens here outside. I can't help that. I can bring the dogs in and put them in the shelter with me, but I can't bring all these chickens in. So I'm just going to have to trust God that nothing's going to happen. And we'll see how things work out. But so far, everything's great. I'm not worried a bit. I don't really... Oh, I've got a couple out here that's not afraid of anything. They'll probably be the next ones that get picked off. Yeah, that's all. Just those two. So, yeah. And I've decided I'm going to wait. We're supposed to have a really, really cold front this weekend. And some of the nights are going to get down to 23 degrees. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do anything on the planting outside just yet. I was going to plant I was going to plant my fruit trees, and I was also going to plant my my potatoes, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait until this 23 degree overnight goes away, and then I'll see about doing something like that. We'll see how things go. So life is still working. I got my container from Walmart. They gave me a credit for the other one, and I saw that in my bank account before I went and picked up the one that they reordered and had me send it to the store. So we did that, and it looks like today, maybe tomorrow, whenever it starts getting cold, I'm going to have to bring some wood in because it's too cold for my little bitty heater today. So, or not today, this weekend it will be. So I'll have to bring some wood in so that I can start my my fire in the house and keep things. There's Kazoo. Kazoo's a little bit afraid of me right now because I chased him around a little bit with that net. He didn't like that too good. He's pretty quick. He is pretty quick. He's starting to get big. I'm glad to know now he's acting like a boy. I sure don't see his tail feathers coming up and curling down like the other ones do. But I guess he's still too young for that. So I don't have anybody in here laying eggs. Looks like she's here ready to do her thing. Well, yeah, she's a sapphire gem too, but she's a little bit yellower on her neck feathers than the other ones are. They're dark gray, but that's kind of normal for them to all have different markings. And there's Renfro eating, and we've got two up here getting ready to. They're either holding the nest so that somebody else can't get in it, or they're sitting there staying away from the roosters, or they're laying. There's three choices there. He's got to figure out which one after they start fighting or not. And I've got two laying up here. I've got one laying here. I've got one back in there. I can see she probably won't yell at me. I've got like 3 eggs there. I don't know if you can see those. There they are. And then one that just jumped out of this one. That's a really popular one there in the bottom corner because they can hide from the rest of them, and that's really what they like to do most. So let me go see the babies and show you how good they're doing. You can tell there's no peeping. So they are doing, they're either dead or they're doing great. Looks like they're doing great. They're not too hot. They're not too cold. They got water. They got goo in their water. They've got food. They've got each other. There's about 10 of them in there. Well, there's 10 of them in there. I keep coming in here and saying, "Are you guys dead? You're not dead, are you? Because I don't hear anything. Are you dead? What are you doing? Are you dead?" And they say, "No, we're alive. Peep, peep. We're alive." Can't hardly get it to focus. But yeah, it looks like I've got some white green eggers and maybe some buff green eggers, or the ones that like I've got in here that's a little bit more aggressive. I'll show you. So Josephine is a white green egger. This is Josephine right here. And her eggs are green, but they have white dots on them. And, or is it brown dots? I don't know. It's got dots on it. Kind of like a barred rock. And so that's what the white ones, the yellow ones will look like. They'll come out white, I'm pretty sure of it. And then the other green eggers that are brown will look like this one. Similar to that one. Let's see. Yeah. I guess there's several different kinds and flavors that lay green eggs. And they'll show their flavors whenever they get all their feathers. There's not really a whole lot you can do till then. I gave them another pumpkin, and they have almost demolished this half. And I have to give them something to do when they're inside. And they've been inside a lot because of the chicken hawks. And I can't say that I blame them. It's just begging a chicken hawk to come eat you whenever you go out there and get in the middle of the garden where there's no trees or anything. And I had a few suggestions from my viewers saying, hey, why don't you get you a trampoline and put it out there? Well, the bad thing is, that's why I want more fencing. All of this is going to be my garden, actually. This is going to be my garden. I'll fence it off. And that down there is going to be my garden. And this right here is going to be my garden. And they're only going to have this right here area and down to where that pole is, which is basically where they stay anyway. They're going to have this area right here where the pole is. It'll be fenced off and they won't be able to get in. And this right here will be my potato area, so it'll be fenced off. They won't be able to get in. And this right here is going to be, well, down there is going to be corn and okra because it's a big area. And then I'm going to plant my trees behind that out in the grass with some fencing around them so that the deer can't get to them as easy. And then all of this is going to be green beans and squash and things like that, the smaller things. So they'll have this area right here, and they'll have this area right here, which is why I really wanted to open that up. That right there hasn't been opened up very long. I did that, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago. So they've got more right in here, and they've got a place to hide right here. And that's the whole thing. They do have a place to hide. They just don't use it. And there's not any way that I can force them to use it. So until they decide that that's what they're going to do, they'll figure it out. And hopefully, the problem is right now it's early spring. And the birds are just now, the chicken hawks are just now coming back. So they've been down south, and my sister said that the buzzards are out too. So buzzards are a sign of early spring. I don't know if you've ever seen a Jane magnolia. It's a bush, and it flowers in the spring, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Last year I had a bunch of wasps that nested in there, and I sprayed the wasp nests, and it killed everything that I sprayed. So thank goodness I didn't spray the whole thing, so I didn't kill the whole tree. But you can kind of tell that it's struggling to get blooms this year. It looks like it's going to get several, but they just have not popped yet, as you can tell. But they are really beautiful once they come out. My next door neighbor says, well, is Jane still out there? Because I told her whenever I bought this tree, I bought it for like $23 at Walmart one year. I thought, it's not really a tree, it's a bush, so it's not going to get that tall. As a matter of fact, it hadn't really grown hardly even any since I bought it. But I put it out here because I thought, well, I'm going to open this up and the chickens are going to have this area, so this will give them a place to hide. But it sure isn't growing very fast, so they don't really have much space here to hide. They only really come out here in groups whenever I'm out here. I used to bring the... Good morning, Biggin. I used to bring the scratch out here and throw it out there in those leaves to get them out here so that they would eat around the bases of the fence line, because they're the best weed eaters you could ever possibly get. If you have a fence that they can get their little heads through, they will keep both sides of that fence fixed, and you don't have to ever weed eat. But this right here is going to be my next obstacle, it looks like. I started it this winter, but I ran out of steam because there was a lot there. And part of it that is my neighbor's, and he's got some stuff on it, and so I'm just kind of trying to regroup and figure out how I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to plan on planting something in my compost thing right there. I'm just going to plant something in there and see if it works. I'm like that. I just will. I will play with gardening and test and you know, that kind of thing, and just see what happens, you know. And it's not something that's going to really just break my heart if it doesn't make, but if it makes, it's going to be kind of exciting. And that happened for the last several years. Every time I've tried to do any kind of a little fun little science experiment, it just always falls flat in my face. So I don't care. I don't ever change. It looks like these are all 3 green eggers right here. They lay green eggs, and they don't have any. Well, that's a well summer up there in the front, and then these 2 are green eggers. It looks like this back one looks like she's getting old. She's getting gray hair. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen a chicken get gray hair before. She's one of my older ones. I sure do love her. They're a little bit hard to keep because they are so aggressive towards the others. These 2 green eggers. Well, you could do it a little bit farther away and it wouldn't be so loud, Biggin. I don't know. Are you trying to compete with my voice? My voice is pretty loud. I don't really mean to compete. Usually roosters will leave you. Roosters will leave you alone if you don't compete with them, or if you don't try to mishandle their hens. If you start mishandling their hens, or you try to act like you're the king of the road, they will usually go ahead and try to hurt you. This one right here is going to have to go back in the hole too. If I can just get him, I'm going to get him in the hole. I'm going to get Kazoo in the hole, and I'm going to get that other one in the hole. And they're either going away, or they're going away means to my son's house, or else I'm going to sell them at a farm market somewhere. So I can't have this many. I think that's another reason that my hens aren't laying well. And they say that chicken hawks won't bother your chickens, crows won't bother your flock if you have black chickens. But you can tell here, I have a lot of black chickens, and crows don't really bother my chickens at all. They caw whenever a chicken hawk comes around, because they chicken hawks, I think, are after their eggs too, and after them, and so they'll caw as a warning to all of them, and the chickens will just take off running. Look at them, they're all out. They know I'm out here, and they know they're protected. Look at here, Biggins standing right here by me, under this tree. But they know as long as I'm out here, nothing's going to get them. Isn't that crazy? Well, there goes, see there, that's what happens right there. That was Kazoo, and he was trying to mate with the gold one, and 2 other roosters came over and said, no, that's not yours, get off. And who is the one that was in the bottom of all of that? That poor little hen. That's why I have to get rid of roosters. A few roosters are okay, but too many are not good. Not good at all. Trouble is back behind. See, I don't know if you can see the big fence back here, but this is the fence that I had extra whenever I moved the fence out up front. And you can see he's behind. I picked it back up and tossed it beside the other fence. so they have a run here and they're protected. You can see it better like this. They're protected here like this. So they get inside of there, and sometimes they don't know how to get out, but you can tell they've already started using it again. It was full of leaves. It's not full of leaves now because they've been over there scratching. They've been scratching through here too because this is where it was laying down. It got knocked over, I guess. I don't know how it got knocked over, but it did. Maybe the storm or something knocked it. This is Scout. He's the one that's always scouting out for everybody, seeing kind of the lookout. He's got a job. So with that, I think I've updated you on everything I've got going. I'm going to be pretty busy today. So you guys have a wonderful day. And look at this. I can't help it. I just love these girls so much. Look at this. All of these girls out here because I am. The minute I go back in, they'll be back in too. I don't know. I just love them. I look at them to see who all's out here. I see the boys. Uh-oh, it's starting to rain again. My dogs are up there at the house and they're wanting in, and they don't get in until it's just really nasty, ugly weather, and then I'll let them in. But they have to stay in at night. Yep, looks like they're telling everybody to go in. That's what he's doing. Yep. Yep, it's raining, and let's see if they can figure out how to get out of there. I don't think these girls care if it's raining or not. Oh yeah, they're kind of coming to, see, they always tend to go the way that they get in is the way they try to get out. But they want to go the fastest way too. So they're going to struggle with everybody else going in. See, the whole yard is almost all gone. Everybody's inside. And these wanted to go the quickest, fastest way. And so they were trying to get out of the middle because they see that door from there. That's the closest. And they're going to struggle with how to get out. Whichever direction that they came in, they'll get out from that direction. There they go. They figured it out. Good girls and boys. So, it's going to rain. And I'm going in and I'm going to go use those containers that I bought from Walmart and see if I can get them full, and I'll do my seeds and get them all in order, and I'll be really excited. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.